Hi, and welcome to my Flosstube. This is my third video. My name is Esther, and I'm from Denmark. I would like to thank you very much for your comments, for your likes, and for your subscriptions. I appreciate it very much, so thank you. I would also like to thank you, Kim, from cataloging my stitches, because she gave me my first shout out. So thank you very much, Kim. As you have probably seen, today I'm going to talk about FFOs and FOs, old as well as new ones. I'm going to talk about my new starts and my whips. And then I decided to talk a bit about and show you some typical Danish patterns, designs for cross-stitching. And then of course there's haul. We'll get back to that. I have a full table here, not with just haul, but with a lot of stuff I want to show you today. So once more, welcome. And let's get right to it. Let's start with the new FFOs. I got two. This one is actually also a new start as well, because I made him in 3 days. You can probably recognize Bernie Sanders, and it was a free pattern from SodaStitch, which I found on Facebook, and so I decided to make that because I found it pretty funny, this meme going all around the world. So that's him, and black velvet on the back. And then my own pattern is done, and I made it into a pillow. Oh, the light. I'm way better. I made it into a pillow, and also with black velvet that already has got a lot of cat hairs. And then I would like to show you some older and very old FFOs. The first one, my partner, he likes World of Warcraft a lot, and last summer he turned 60, so I made him this one, which he likes, and he actually put it on the wall, so I'm very happy about that. Otherwise that would have been a waste of time, and it was actually very difficult to make this because I didn't want him to know anything about it. And that means that every time he came into the living room, I constantly had to sit with two whips, this one and another whip, because when I could hear him moving into the living room where I was sitting, I quickly dropped his wow on the floor and sat stitching on one of my normal whips. And as soon as he left again, I picked his whip up and continued working on it. I started it on May the 14th, and I finished it on May the 30th. I even had to frog a lot because, as you can see, this blue color, I had actually accidentally used the brown color instead, another dark brown color. I had misread the number tags, so I had to frog as well. And on the 14th of June, it was FFO'd. I had framed it, and it was his birthday on the 20th of June. So then, back in 2009, I made this table runner for Easter, and it's pretty long, as you can see. Maybe you should. That's not easy. I found it very cute and very long. This is actually one of the few times that I succeeded in finding colored Ada here in Denmark. I mean, not that it's impossible to find colored Ada, but usually you can find gray, white, black, red, blue, sometimes green, and sometimes a darker red, sometimes maybe other colors, but we don't have that much to choose from. And this yellow one, I actually only seen it once, so I'm glad that I bought it back then. Well, now it's no problem, because now I also dye my fabric myself. Back in the 80s, I stitched this pillow. It says hello in a lot of different languages. I didn't write, or I didn't put my initials on it, so actually I do not know when I made it, but I do know that I did make it in the 80s. And back then I didn't leave much room. I didn't leave extra fabric, so as you can see it was very tight, but I found out if I did like this and made it into a pillow, it would look alright, and I think it does. Yeah. And then I got this book when my no, I got it before, but my father's sister, she who taught me how to stitch, she moved into a home for old people. Of course, my sister and I had to clean her house and sort out her stuff and take what we wanted, stuff that she didn't want to bring with her. And I found this book. And it says CrossStitch motifs from Danish castles and museums. And let me show some of them. You can see they're all geometric patterns, but as you have probably found out, I like that. And then we have this one. You can see the pillows, and here you can actually see floor where they got some of the inspiration from. It's a very interesting book to sit and read here. And one more here, and I think one day I'm going to make this one because it's really beautiful, and I just got some floss that would be perfect for it. I will show you that floss later. And here again you can see how they were inspired. So I really like this book, and I have done quite a few of the designs in it from it. First of all, I did this little one, this little pillow. It's pretty big. And I made that one in 2009. That's about 6 months after I got my cataract surgery, so I could actually see again. I made a lot of these, not a lot of, but I did make quite a few of these patterns. And then I have this box of forgotten cases, I think I'll call it. It's stuff that I stitched but never FFO'd. I never finished it. Actually, I did start to finish these ones now. I'm not done yet. As you can see, this is also from this book. And this I made in 2011. Actually, 2011, I was pretty productive. And this one, this is also made, I also made this one in 2011. I really love this pattern here. So, yeah. All that stuff with where the pattern is from and all that, I'll put that down in the description box. So, that was my FFOs and my FOs. No, not the old FOs, because I actually have two FFOs this time. The first one is a small one. It's one more from the CrossStitcher magazine, Spring Pins and Pretty Things. And I really like this one. This is very spring. It gives me a good feeling of spring. So, and then I have been working really, really hard, because all of a sudden I decided that there was one whip that I really needed to be done with. Problem was that I had at least, I think, 7,000 or 8,000 stitches left before I could call it a day and say, hey, it's done. I finished it this afternoon. I have been stitching and stitching the last days. Yesterday I made 1,820 stitches, I think. Of course, I'm talking about House of Christmas by Galliana CrossStitch. I love it. And I already know how I'll FFO it, but I don't think I'm going to FFO it now, because I prefer to stitch. And then when I have a lot of stuff to finish fully off, then I'll do that. But it's done. I think this is actually the biggest project I've ever stitched, because I'm not done with my height yet. It's almost, I think it's 29,000 stitches, and I did that in less than 3 months. I started on November the 7th last year, and I finished it today, as I said. And I really, really like it. It's a beautiful design. Beautiful. Okay. That was the new FOs. Then I got some new starts. We are now in February, and there have been drawn 2 new numbers for the Whipco. Number 4 and number 20. And number 4 is the night before Christmas. I haven't started it yet, but I'm going to make it on the 14 count light blue Ada. The other number called was number 20, and that's Snow Way. And actually I thought I was going to do a lot on this one, because I really like this pattern, but then I decided to see if I could try and finish House of Christmas. So I only got a little stitching done, but I really like the pattern, and I think it's going to be beautiful. It's on 16 count Ada from SodaStitch, and it's called Misty Morning. As I said before, all the stuff, I will write it down in the description box. And then these spring pins and pretty things, where there are 6 pictures all together, where I'm going to make the 5 of them. I started the last one. I called it Waves, and I didn't do much on that either. Again, because of House of Christmas. This one I began on January the 31st. That was new starts, whips. And the whips I'm going to show you today are the whips that has been in rotation since my last video. The first one is, of course, the temperature tree. And I make a little personalization, because we got snow. We actually got snow. And I thought I have to show it somehow. And maybe you can see here and here, that's yesterday and that's the day before yesterday. I've put in a little metallic thread, like a little star, just to tell myself that we have snow. And I'm only going to put in that metallic little star if we have snow for real. Not if it's all dark out there and then we just have snow for 1 hour or so. But when we have the snow and it's on the ground and it's on the plants, it's on the shrubs, it's on everywhere, then I will make this little one. And I'm quite anxious to see it. Not anxious, I'm quite excited to see how many days of snow we will get, because they actually promised us that we would hardly get above 0 degrees Celsius in the next week or so. And I don't like feeling cold, but I do like winter, especially now I'm teaching from home and I don't have to go out. It's okay with me that there's a lot of snow outside. I think we have about 5 centimeters or so at the moment. So yeah, that was the temperature tree. Then I found, then I took one of my older whips and put it back into rotation. First I had to frog it because I made a counting mistake. And that's why it had been put away for 4 months or so, because I didn't want to frog, because it's an 18 count Ada with 2 threads, and that's very thick. So, but I pulled myself together and I frogged it and I stitched a little bit, and this is how it looks now. As you can see, there's not much room around it, but never mind. It's going to, I will see if I can find a picture and put up here so you can see how it looks. And there's going to be a head of a cat here, so I love cats. I also stitched a bit on fan from Hornswoggle. Let me see how turned. This is the way it should be turned. And I will put up a picture on how it looked before I started stitching on it. And of course, I did some more on the other 2 Galliana cross-stitch designs that I'm working on. The first one is Rose Street. I got this far, which means not that very far at all. I really like the way this floss variegates. I forgot the number right now, but I will put it below. And the other one, Victoria Street. I got a little further, as you can see. And again here, I'll put up photos. The last whip that has been in rotation is my hate. And I didn't get to stitch that much on it as I would have liked to, because of House of Christmas. But now House of Christmas is done, and I think next time I can show you, hopefully I can show you that I worked a lot on my hate. Altogether I think I have made about 2,500 stitches. So I made some of the bird cage, and then I moved down here so I could go down to the first cat, because this one was actually closer than the cat below here, because there you have to make a lot of stuff here first. So this is actually the first cat. So I'm looking forward to starting on this one again. That was it. That were my whips. Then I would like to talk about typical Danish designs. This is my opinion, but it seems to me that Danish designs usually are full of consist of full crosses and some backstitching. That means very plain, and not like hate confetti like hates. Not that they cannot have confetti, but actually not that very much. Maybe except for my Tutankhamun that I showed you in my first video. Today I actually found an old FFO made by my late aunt. It's my country, Denmark, and then some motifs from Denmark. I'm still thinking about what I'm going to do with it. I will not put it on the wall, but maybe make it into a pillow or something. I don't know yet. But this is, I think she made it in the 50s or so, 1950s. So I remember it has always been on her. She had it as a wall hanging. Then I looked. I have a binder this big, full of cross-stitch designs, mainly Danish, some English, and some Swedish. And I picked out. I chose some of them that I would like to show you. A lot of them are actually Christmas stuff, and I know we are in February, but Christmas stuff, that's what I got most of. So the first one is an advent calendar, and that's from 1990. And then we have a little Santa. That's also from 1990. As you can see, it's very simple with the full crosses and hardly any. This does have some backstitching, but the backstitching follows the crosses, so you don't have to go over 2 or 3 or 4. And that's nice. And then we have another Santa's Family. That's from the 90s. I don't know exactly when. It doesn't say. This one is from 1980. And as you can see, there's pretty much here, and then you have the papers here with all the patterns in. I'm not going to take them out, but I'm just going to show you some of them, because I'm afraid that, because sometimes there's also parts of the pattern. So I'll just show you the front page of this one. And as you can see, it's very popular in Denmark for Christmas to make a table runner. I think I got patterns for the first 20 different table runners or more. I've only done 2 or 3 of them. This one I find pretty cute. That's also from the 90s, and that's also a table runner. It's more wintry than Christmassy. Yeah. This is actually looks a bit like a sampler. A Christmas sampler. As you can see. Oops. So, a kind of a Christmas sampler. As you know, I don't do samplers. Well, I don't do a lot of samplers, but I do know that a lot of you do samplers, and that's why I picked some of these samplers to show you. This one is this is old. I think it's from the 60s or so, so it's about 50 years old, this pattern. I know I have stitched this one, and I think I stitched this motif as well, and I put it on a box of matches, I think. but that's a very long time ago. And then we have this one. That's E. That's the text is from one of our Christmas Gospels. No, Christmas carols, you called it. And this is from 1979. I have heard that you talk about that it's very difficult to get Disney. That it's because Disney are very strict about who can get copyrights for the figures. I actually have 3 Disney patterns, and they came with a Danish weekly. One of them is Snow White, but I do not have the picture of how it should look. So that's why I cannot show it to you. Otherwise I would have. But I have this one. And as you can see, it's made like an advent calendar. I have stitched him when I was a kid. I think I might stitch the other ones maybe in a year or 2, but without the numbers, just as a Christmas decoration, because I like Disney. And the other Disney is Mickey Mouse and his 2 nephews, and again an advent calendar. And I think about stitching that as well, again without the numbers, as a plain Christmas decoration. And this is also from 1979 or 1981. Then there's a pillow with cats on it. I like the cats, but I don't like the green background. I think I did stitch some of the cats, but I might do it again. And then make a pillow, but with another background, because I really don't like this background. It makes it too dark, I think. Then I found, because as I said before, I cleaned out from my father's sister, my aunt, and found some of her very old designs. And this one is from 1963, the nativity scene. I think it's, and another table runner. I think it's funny to have such old designs. Not that I think that I'll ever make this one, but. And then we have this one is pretty. I think I forgot something. Well, I can show you that another time. These are actually old Danish samplers. And there are several of them. So I just have to browse through them so you can see. And there's another sampler. And this is from, 1963. So it's pretty old. It's older than me. In Denmark we call these samplers navneklud. It means cloth of names. Yeah. And this is what you made for young people who got their confirmation in the church. And then we have another sampler for a newborn, as a memory of a newborn, a birth. And this one is for a boy. I think it's funny to have such old ones. And that was that. I hope you found it a bit interesting to see some typical Danish patterns. Okay. Haul. Acquisitions. Shopping. Or whatever you call it. As I told you, I got back into the CrossStitch world when the pandemic hit. And I started watching Flosstube, and all of a sudden I realized there's so much more to CrossStitch than I thought was possible. As I told you in one of my former videos, I got a whole new vocabulary. And then I found out how much stuff you could actually get. Last time I showed you my needle minders. Well, in the beginning, that means I started stitching again in March, and in the beginning, the only thing I bought was DMC floss, as well as fabric, plain fabric, because back then, yeah, some other colors than I was used to, pink, for example. And if I had just continued with that, buying DMC threads and fabric, all right. Ha! Can we just say that 2020 turned out to be one giant rabbit hole for me? I don't know how many packets I have received. Big and especially a lot of small ones. I mean, a needle minder is not that big. But actually I did a little count and found out that since I came back into the cross-stitching world, I have received till today 104 packages that were all cross-stitch related. 104! So 2020, that has really been one giant rabbit hole for me. And therefore I said to myself, okay, Esther, when we get to 2021, you don't need to buy that much. You have two drawers full of fabric, and you don't need more fabric, at least not for 1 or 2 or 3 years. So my intention of 2021 was therefore only buy what you really need. And I must say I'm pretty surprised that I need that much, that I need that many things, because I should be buying less. And how am I doing so far? Not very good. So let's get to it. First of all, as if I didn't have enough charts already, as I said in my last Flosstube, I don't do Halloween, but now since I came back into cross stitching, I do wish to start stitching Halloween. I haven't done any yet, but now I do have the patterns. So this is one, a German chart from the Lindner's CrossStitcher, and it's called Happy Halloween. And it's actually a kind of a sampler, and then you can pick the motifs you want. And there are examples here how you can use them. And I can show you the back side where there are other examples on how to use it. They have very simple cross stitches, kind of like the Danish ones, with full crosses and a little bit of back stitching. I like that. We are in February, then comes March, then comes Easter. I love Easter, so I also wanted to get the Happy Ostern. Ostern means Easter. in German. And I think there are many cute little things here, and I think I'm going to pick a lot of the motifs and make into little pillows, because now I do have a lot of Christmas pillows. I would also like to have a lot of Easter, spring pillows. And here the back side. Yeah. Then I visited SodaStitch, and they had this one, Halloween and black cats, and you do know that I like cats, so I needed to have this one as well. Then Waxing Moon Designs, the Haunted House Trio. I love to stitch houses. I haven't stitched that many houses. Okay, House of Christmas is one pretty big house, but I haven't stitched many. Yeah, this Christmas in Nantucket I stitched one of the houses, but I really like these houses, so of course I had to buy this one. And then this one from Hands-On Design. It's called Blissfully Unaware. I love the text. If you're reading this, you are blissfully unaware of what is creeping up behind you. Isn't that cool? I find it very cool. Good. So, one of the things I also bought was a pretty big amount of velvet for all those pillows I'm going to make. And I'm going to put up a photo here, because that would be, I didn't have the room on this table to take all that velvet in here, so I thought, no, I'll just put in a picture of the velvet. Then I bought plastic canvas. I don't think you can get that in Denmark. This is from Italy, from my favorite shop, Galliana. Because I have in one of these CrossStitch magazines on Readly, I saw some very cute little houses, and I want to make them. I put a picture here. I want to make them for Christmas. In Denmark, I could only find, not that we do not have this in Denmark, I just couldn't find it. But I could only find paper, and this is plastic, and I wanted it in plastic. So, of course, I didn't just buy one, because that wouldn't be me. I bought 6 packets. There are 2 in each, that means I've got 12 of them. Oh well. Yeah. And then I bought some needle cases. I like to have my needles in this little plastic tubes like this. That suits me just fine. And I like that they have all different colors. So, yeah. Still so much to show you. Yeah. Then I bought a gauge, a cross-stitch gauge, where you can check if you don't know what kind of fabric you're working on. You can actually check, and it goes from 11 count till 40 counts. I find that's a very good purchase. It says here it can measure fabric count, convert stitch counts to inches, and is also a stitch ruler. And this is from Yarn Tree. I also got this at the Casa Chinina. Yeah. And then I bought some punching tools. I bought this one. I'm going to show you later what I'm going to use this for. Maybe you already have a good guess. I mean, you're clever people, aren't you? And this one to make holes. I think you can guess what I need that one for. I'm still waiting for an order, so I didn't get all the punch tools that I needed, but hopefully it will come soon. So, as I have said several times, I've been watching a lot of Flosstubers. And for me, it has always been enough. No, I'll just use DMC. Okay, I will buy a little Kreinik. So I also bought some Kreinik. And some more metallic floss, but that's about it. I don't need more. So of course, I just bought some DMC. Because I prefer at all time to have at least 2 skeins of each color of the normal ones, the 117 series. And since I stitch quite a lot, I very often run out of a color. So I had to stock up, and so I did. And you should think that should be enough. I thought so too. And then a lot of you, no names mentioned, a lot of you kept showing me fancy floss. And I just thought, fancy floss? No, I don't need fancy floss. Well, in May or June, I actually did buy my first silks. These ones, I haven't used them yet. But I just thought it would be nice to have some silks. These are they are hand dyed. And what's her name? Jew Design. She's from Hungary, I think. And then she gave me this one as a present. So I do have some silks, and I don't need more. As I said, a lot of you out there are great enablers. I have heard a lot of you talking about Weeks Dye Works, and last time I shopped at Casa Chenina, because I cannot find these in Denmark either. I can find hand-dyed silks and hand-dyed floss, but they're very expensive. I also got Weeks Dye Works now. And of course, I couldn't just buy one. No. So of course, I had to buy a lot of them. And I really like these, like candy floss, but especially this one. I think I'm going to use it. If you remember that little Halloween pattern I showed you last time, I'll put a picture up here. I think that would look marvelous in this. So I got Weeks Dye Works and a full set of DMC. So I don't need more floss. Who has ever heard a CrossStitcher say, I don't need more floss? Well, you have also been talking about classic colorworks. Do I know how to just relax and just buy maybe 1 or 2 skeins? I got a little colorworks as well. I have no idea what I'm going to use it for. I will probably find something to use it for, but I really understand now why you like sitting like this. And this is really nice. Okay, so that was it. Except I forgot to show you what I needed these for. As you can see, I have started. And what on earth is this for? Let me show you. This this time I'm going to mention a name. Rocio from Kokohama Stitching. She is a very, very great enabler, because I was watching her Flosstube, one of her videos, and she showed one particular floss, a silks. I just looked, stopped the video, found the Etsy shop, bought one. It's not called a skein because it's bigger than a skein, and ordered it right away. So what was it that I ordered? Well, first of all, I got myself another new needle minder, a cute little raccoon, and you just watch now. This silk floss is called Oxide. I love it. Just look at it. Look at the colors. I was absolutely totally flabbergasted when I opened the parcel. It's so beautiful. It's so soft to touch. Oh my goodness. It's whoa. And of course I'm going to make this into sizes like this, and therefore I need rings like this. But first I will show you how it looks next time. But this time I just wanted to show you this skein. 50 grams of 100% mulberry silk. And just look at those colors. If you can fall in love with floss, I'm in love. I'm totally and completely in love. And I purchased it by Mrs. She has an Etsy shop, but beware. This Etsy shop is also very good at enabling. I accidentally came by yesterday again. So in my probably not in my next video, because it does take 3-4 weeks for the stuff to get here. But then in my Flosstube number 5, I will show you what I purchased, because I didn't just purchase one of these this time. So now we finally reached to an end, and I can see this video is longer than usually, but I hope you bear over with me. If you have any questions, please do ask in the comments. And also, if you don't have any questions, please write a comment. And you're more than welcome to hit the like button or the subscribe button, or you can find me on Instagram. And I think that was it for now. And I plan to, in the future, to film at Friday. This is Friday evening. So I plan it to upload, so it will, depending on how long time it takes to edit. I plan for it to be there Saturday morning. So until next time, bye.